Mr. Fantastic Fox is one of the most visually pleasing, audibly amazing, fantastic movies I've ever seen. But despite all of that, this may also be the darkest and most depressing movie I've ever seen. It explores a fox's journey through struggling with his longing for the good old days of stealing chickens that he had to give up to start a family. The movie was beautiful and heartwarming, but the ending left a really foul taste in my mouth. I'm gonna spoil, so be ready. Mr. Fox doesn't want to live underground anymore. He wants a big tree house so he can feel accomplished in life, but everyone keeps telling him, we're wild animals, we're supposed to be underground. And Mr. Fox is like, no, I have a suit and I want a big house, then proceeds to eat his breakfast like a wild animal. He gets this big tree house and everything is beautiful, then proceeds to steal chickens after being out of the game. He steals chickens from 3 of the baddest chicken farmers alive. They find out, track him down, shoot off his tail, cut down his tree, blow up his land, then destroy the infrastructure of the underground where all the other talking animals live. Mr. Fox and his family and friends are all stuck underground because these humans will not stop. They'll never stop. And the movie ends with Mr. Fox coming to terms with that and doing the rest of his living underground. Now eating processed, GMO-free artificial foods. And just accepting this. Look at this line here. It's one of the last things said in the movie.
So let's raise our boxes to our survival.
Surviving? Not living, surviving? This movie was gripping until this point. I was on the edge of my seat wondering how they would get out of this mess. How was Mr. Fox gonna get his treehouse back? How will he redeem himself and have the hood cheer him on as he saves the day and show these so-called wild animals that they can live over ground, above ground? But they didn't. They lost. But they're happy. And that's just disgusting! Fantastic Mr. Fox is a movie about giving up on your dream and settling for less.
Okay, this next song is for the LAPD. We got arrested the other night at Blackie's for playing punk rock music. They called us nuisance in Publix or something like that. Anyway, they put us in jail, and this song's called Revenge, and it's for them. It's not my imagination!
I've recently become infatuated with grunge music, the Riot Girl movement, and just the 90s in general. And I've been trying to learn all I could about it, and it led to a lot of fucking Kurt Cobain documentaries. And they all keep saying this one thing. He's the voice of a generation, voice of the generation, voice of the voiceless. He made Gen X feel noticed. It's been 28 years since Kurt killed himself, and I was wondering how Gen X is doing now, or at least what they did do after punk and like real rock died. So I looked at the timeline of Gen X. Hold on. Just to clarify, what I meant by real rock, I meant like the old school sex, drugs, rock and roll type shit. Like MCR, Green Day, Paramore. Like it's not that, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Gen X was the no future guys, the middle children born in between boomers and millennials. Boomers had Vietnam, the Summer of Love, Woodstock 69, weed, LSD, birth control, JFK. Millennials had Obama, Taylor Swift, the birth of the iPhone and Facebook. Gen X had AIDS, heroin, fatherless children. They're the generation literally known for ODing and killing themselves. This generation was ass, and I see a lot of them in us, Gen Z, but like we're literally too gay to actually kill our. Gen X was known for being slackers who sat around drinking beer and watching MTV all day, complaining about the system and deciding to yell and scream about it and punch and push their peers in a crowd. What happened to that attitude? Well, they all died. Not all Gen X, but the voices of those generations. They gave up. And a lot of Gen X followed them to the main menu. But the ones who stayed, they're Cornelius. Cornelius is a loser and he hates his life. That's all you need to know. He's 25, Gen X, and he's a wage slave, and the only thing he has going for him is his collection of bullshit from Bootless magazine. We don't know his past, but since he's Gen X, it's safe to assume that he was a punk or a metalhead or into hip hop. Into that Debbie Downer, fuck the system, Daria Beavis and Butthead type shit. The no future shit. Maybe he, like many of that generation, tried to somehow change the system from the inside by making it to the top their way, but realized it wouldn't work because the system will never change. So you decide you don't want to live in a world like that, or you give up and settle for less, smiling mildly at every time your new shipment of bullshit comes in the mail. It's not a new Melvin's record, but it's music.
So let's raise our boxes. 2 hour survival.